Hi, this is Christine with Stampin' Up, and I want to show you how to achieve this sort of neon look on a card. It was basically created with white embossing powder and our Stampin' Blends markers. So let's dig in and I will show you how it's done. So I've got a piece of black cardstock for my card base. It's cut at 8.5 and 8.5 by 5.5, sorry about that, and scored at the 4.25 mark. Then I've got a Granny Apple Green layer. It is 5.25 at 4. And this is the layer that we're going to work on. So this is 5 by 3.75. So I want to kind of recreate that dragonfly look, but we're going to use the corner bouquet stamp set, which is one of the free offerings in the Celebration brochure, which you can earn for every $60 you spend. Between now and the end of February, you can choose a free stamp set or paper from that brochure. So not a lot of time left, but I quite like this, this stamp set. So what I've just done there is I've used my embossing buddy, which is something that Stampin' Up! No longer carries, but it's just going to kind of take the static off my paper. Alternately, you could use a dryer sheet to do the same thing. And it's just so that when we get to our embossing powder, it sticks only to where you want it. So I'm using Versamark ink, which is a clear kind of watermark ink, to put down on the paper, and then we will put the embossing powder on that, and it'll stick only to where we want it, we hope. So you probably won't see the impression I'm making because it's clear on black. And next I want to put a sentiment on. I'm just using the thank you from the Sweet Strawberry stamp set. So again, I'm just going to use the Versamark on that. And I'll put that up here. To clean off the Versamark ink, I usually use baby wipes, just because. All right, so now let's get to the embossing powder. And there's several different ways of doing this. Some people like to just put their powder directly on and let it go onto an extra sheet of paper and then put that back in the small container. I like to work over top of a plastic dish to catch the bits that fall off. I just find it neater, but to each their preference. So I'm putting that all over the card, and I want to cover that Versamark ink so that it leaves only the image behind. So I'm just dipping that down, trying to get the excess off. All right. Sorry, I recognize that that's off camera. I'll be right back. I put the lids back on things right away because this is a very fine powder and it will find its way elsewhere. Now I do have a little bit of stray embossing powder here, so I'm just gonna flick that off with a dry brush. Any brush will do, just because once we use the heat tool to this, it's set. And I want to have as clean a black as I can. It's okay if there's some slight imperfections, but I think my little brush is staticky too. All right, so we're going to heat this up using a heat tool. I'm going to go underneath, and I'm hoping you'll see the effect as it cures. there. So let's heat that up just to set it. Bear with the noise here. So it just helps bring the shine back to the surface. Excuse the noise. So yeah, this is it. It's really not complicated. It's really fun. If you wanted to, you could stamp back over top of the image with clear Versamark to really make that shiny, or go back again with the blends to make the colors that much more vibrant. But I think for this, it works well. So I'm just going to glue, we'll make this into a card. I'm going to glue this working surface to our green layer. And I'm just using liquid glue to do that. So I find with the Granny Apple Green Matte, it pops it up even more. And then I'm going to put the green matte onto our card base. And then I'll add a sheet of white on the inside of the card so that I'm able to write on that. And I'm just making the fold with my bone folder. So there's our finished card. So I'll just pull the dragonfly one back in. And this is one that I made with just embossing powder on the Oso Ombre designer series paper, which is also part of the celebration items this year. So let me know what you think, and if you give this a try, please share with me what your result is. I'd love to see it. Thanks.